You and Bret Hart, I swear to God, fucking work rate, poor fucking me. Save me, Suckwinder. Take me back. Take me back.
Oh my gosh, I just love it. This is a good one.
It is. Whew.
Oh, the only thing that could make this day better is if I was watching porn while doing this. Oh, who says I'm not? I don't know.
Beth Phoenix says, and she also made an impressive return. Was busted open pretty well early in the Women's Royal Rumble match on Sunday. Phoenix, who entered the ring at number 19, was fighting Bianca Belair in the corner. God, Belair had a great Rumble match.
She is the EST, baby.
I think she was the second one in, and she was in till almost the end.
Nice. She is the EST. I love her.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to message you while watching it. Like, you got to watch the women's because your girl's going to go the fucking distance.
I'm hoping to go back and watch the Women's Rumble and the strap match. Again, we'll talk about that. I guess we got more to go ahead.
And to people who have more time than that, I highly recommend watching the whole thing because it's all worth it. The first match is a little who gives a fuck, but not bad in its own. Anyways, was fighting Phoenix, who entered into the ring at number 19, was fighting Bianca Belair in the corner when Belair struck her in the chest. The Glamazon snapped her head back to sell the blow. However, she hit the back of her head on the post. Belair reacted to the spot immediately, talking with Phoenix. Phoenix kept wrestling for several more minutes as the blood started to turn her hair red and remained in the match until she was tossed out by Shayna Baszler towards the end. Phoenix's husband, Edge, who made his own return during the Men's Royal Rumble match, commented on his wife working through the injury, tweeting, "My wife is a badass."
She sure is.
Indeed, she is. I've never been more proud of and humbled by her than in this moment. And it was good. And after she got busted open, like, her and Natalya started working together as a team, and she ended up throwing Natalya out at one point, and the blood in the hair. Literally, if she didn't have the hair, she'd have been Ric Flaired out. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Because that hair soaked it up.
And I've always been a Glamazon fan. I think most people are. It's hard to dislike her.
No.
But
she's
a tough one.
She can't be a bad broad.
No, she's a tough one, and she definitely showed it during the Rumble. Yeah, I think you can. I use that term. I can say it because I have tits, though.
So do I.
Okay, so we can say it then.
Yes.
It's our pass. Oh, well, Pasty.
Well, I got a 12-inch dick. Does that mean I could say the N-word? Oh, that's so bad.
Pasty, you only have 12 inches when you're reading the ruler backwards, my friend. An injury occurred also in the men's battle royal as AJ Styles reportedly suffered a left arm injury during that match. It seems Styles wanted to take a big bump from Edge's spear, but in doing so, he landed on his left shoulder and got injured. Styles came back up from the spear holding his left arm, and it actually appeared to just be dangling there as if he couldn't move it. WWE officials wanted him to leave the ring right away, but apparently he insisted on being eliminated over the top rope and told Edge to toss him out. Styles was then tended to by WWE officials and medics at ringside right after his elimination. The Phenomenal One is still in the plans for WrestleMania 36, and word is that he's hopeful that he will be back in the ring even sooner, as Wrestling Observer Radio claims Styles is optimistically 4 to 6 weeks away from full recovery, and notes AJ does not blame Edge for the injury. He took a hell of a bump on that one. He definitely sold it. He went all out for it. Both Edge and him went all out on it, and it's just a freak accident. It happens.
I mean,
and
it was good seeing as the camera totally botched catching Edge's first spear in 9 years or whatever in ring action. God, I was pretty pissed at that too. The announcers are selling it because they're watching it, and I can't see it because they're looking at some stupid shit.
It is awesome,
and it
though,
was Ziggler taking it, man.
And he sells like crazy. He's a bumping machine.
Fuck yeah.
But I
He's
think it's
the guy
great
you want to take your first spear back. That's for sure.
I think it's great that AJ, like Beth before him, wasn't just going to get taken out of the match. He's like, no, I can't work. I know I got to go, but you know what? I can hold my arm and take a safe bump over the top. And he allowed a ring-rusted Edge to be the one to throw him over, which is taking a lot of liberties.
Well,
you know
at that
mean?
point in the match, Carl Anderson was in the ring with AJ, but Gallows hadn't gotten there yet. And it was reported that AJ was supposed to have more of a spot with Edge following that up.
Yeah.
And it would set something up for the
Yeah, they were supposed to have kind of a little thing in the ring, which would have been awesome. Two greats.
Yeah, it's a shame that he was injured and couldn't see that out. Because now Vince might just never let it happen ever. You know what I mean? Vince is one to go on from things that fast.
He does.
Yes. Samoa Joe was injured during his tag team match with Kevin Owens on Raw.
My God, 25% of WWE is injured now.
I know. The Samoan submission machine hit his head hard as he and Kevin Owens took on Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. He was then removed from the match by the ref. On camera, Joe looked upset with the decision. Dave Meltzer reported on the Wrestling Observer Radio that this was a legitimate injury and decision by the referee. Wade Keller of PW Torch also confirms that this was not a booked angle for the match. According to Meltzer, the concern right now is that it could be a concussion, but no further word on the severity of Joe's situation is known at this time. It sucks, man. Every time Joe looks like he's going to get somewhere, something pushes him back.
I just have to say, with these two news blips right behind each other, when are we going to get AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe in a big pay-per-view match and a big feud?
Mm-hmm. Well, we had the big feud where Samoa Joe went to his house and diddled his kids or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Did we get a match? Or didn't we get a shitty match from that?
There was three matches.
And none of them were good, am I right?
No contest. It was pretty lackluster.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. I completely forgot about it.
It was great promos, but it was lackluster. And I think like heel Joe versus heel Styles is the way you want to set it up, not face either of them.
Right, I could see that. They work so well together.
Get in each other's way.
Yeah.
It sucks too because at this point it's like Joe's never gonna get the push in WWE, but he's so nearing the end of his time. Like I would understand if he stayed to keep the money, but creatively he'd be better off to go anywhere else.
Probably, but I could see him wanting to retire here. Yeah. Like you said, just for the money and maybe for the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Become a producer or a trainer or an agent or something.
Maybe, but I don't feel like Vince is ever going to take him seriously in a backstage role if he doesn't take him seriously as a performer.
Well, look at all the people that he's hired him. I mean, he hired Abyss as a agent. I think
that's only because he never heard of him before.
He tends to put people back there that we wouldn't think. Yeah. Jamie Noble is a big backstage person. Fit Finley, all these guys that you wouldn't think Vince would. I don't know.
I honestly, with the little run he had on the announce table, wouldn't mind seeing him announcing.
That'd be good as well, I think.
Dude, if he and Kevin Owens retired in WWE and became an announce team together, I'd love that.
I think I would. They might step on each other and not work, but I think I would like it.
They also might do that in the best ways possible.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
And Pasty, with 20 minutes left, can we knock out the Royal Rumble here in 20 minutes?
Definitely can. This was an easy show to watch, and it'll be an easy show to get through. They kept the boring. We didn't really care so much to see it stuff to the pre-show. So Sheamus defeated Shorty G. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
United States Championship match, Andrade defeated Humberto Carrillo. I had tuned in by this point, but I wasn't paying attention. I was like, it was like 5 o'clock, and the pre-show had already been on for an hour. I'm like, God damn it, it's starting now. I'll tune in, but I'm going to do other shit.
Yeah.
But the first match, Falls Count Anywhere, Roman Reigns defeated King Corbin. in what is pretty typical of a Falls Count Anywhere match, but it wasn't bad by any means. Started in near the ring, broke some tables at ringside, went through the audience to the equipment area, technical equipment area, which is basically just this big empty space in the middle of the crowd where they could do some shit, and wrestled around over there. Eventually, Roman Reigns put Corbin in a porta potty that had wheels on it for some reason and wheeled him around a little bit, but didn't spin it, which I would have done. And
of course.
And then he tipped it over, and Baron Corbin came out without any shit or blue juice or anything on him, clean as a whistle. So it was pointless and worthless. And then, of course, the Usos and Corbin, Ziggler and Rude got in on the match. But it ended up with Roman Reigns getting the win, and that's all I have to say about that.
We like it.
It was my least favorite match on the card, but I would still, it's the first match on the card, and it's the only match on the card I wouldn't recommend watching, so watch it anyway. That kind of thing, folks. Up next, we had the Women's Royal Rumble match. Charlotte Flair won last by eliminating Shayna Baszler. Baszler had a great showcase in this match, but especially Bianca Belair with the hair was the standout star of the match until Beth Phoenix busted her head open. And at that point, I was all Beth the whole way. I wanted her to win.
Phoenix. Yeah.
I wanted her to win. And they all look good. It was a pretty solid match. I don't think there was any real issues.
I haven't heard any negative reactions from it. I didn't watch it.
Naomi came back with a really bouncy big fro and a new outfit that's very colorful and bright, and she did a Kofi move where she got launched off the edge and caught the barricade and then kind of straddled it. And then she stood on the announce tables for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, she was always the the Kofi of the women's. Was there was a couple women that were rumored to be returning. I don't remember who they all were, but she was one, I know.
Yeah, and who was it? Was it Kelly, maybe?
Well, she wouldn't be a return. She'd be like a
I don't know who.
Okay.
I don't know. There's quite a few NXT women, more than I had anticipated. And
which is good.
Yeah.
Good to give them a little a platform, if you will.
Mm-hmm. No, it was really solid. I liked the work in it a lot, and I really liked it. It's a very different watch than the Men's Royal Rumble, and I always appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what they should do with whenever they have these men's or women's. But it's hard to do in a match
where there's fucking a ton of people in it, and all the objective is to look like you're doing something until you throw people out.
Yeah, I come back to what I said when they first did this. Don't do 2 in one pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This year do a Women's Royal Rumble, next year do a Men's Royal Rumble, next year do a Women's Royal Rumble.
And then do a tag team Royal Rumble.
It's not that difficult to do. Let's not.
Come on.
Let's not.
60-man tag team Royal Rumble.
Let's not.
3 hours long.
Let's not.
I wish I could remember more of the highlights. There was a lot of stuff I really liked about this match, and I definitely recommend watching it.
This is one match I hope to go back and rewatch. Don't know that I will, but I would really like to.
Mm-hmm. Then we had the SmackDown Women's Championship match, and I was really hopeful for Lacey Evans to win this one, although I didn't pick her.
Neither did I, so, we were playing the smart hand. Hello.
Mm-hmm. But at the point Lacey Evans' daughter was at ringside, I knew she was losing.
That's just harsh.
Lacey had a really good match. She did a lot against Bayley. Bayley just kind of pulled it out in the end like a heel champ would do. Solid match. Not great, but good for the position on the card and kept things moving along just fine. It developed Lacey Evans more. It's interesting seeing her as a face now because I really enjoyed her heel little beginning stint. But that's just me. Then we had the Universal Championship strap match for the strap. Seeing the Fiend